A car can keep rolling even after its ignition slips out of run. The frightening part is what the driver may lose simultaneously: engine power, power steering, and power brake assistance, and possibly the airbags needed in a crash. That was the danger in several GM models. The ignition switch had too little torque resistance, so a bump from a driver's knee or weight hanging from the key could move it into accessory or off. Steering and braking remained mechanically possible, but required much more effort. If a crash followed while the switch was out of run, the frontal airbags might not deploy. The defect was not simply missed once. Testing before production showed that a prototype switch fell below GM's own torque specification, yet it was approved. As reports of stalls and sudden shutoffs appeared in 2004 and 2005, GM issued guidance about lighter keychains instead of recalling the vehicles. In 2006, the switch design was changed to increase its resistance, but the replacement kept the same part number. On paper, the old and revised switches looked identical. That made it harder for engineers, mechanics, and investigators to recognize that two physically different versions existed and to connect the switch with airbag non-deployment. The larger failure was how information moved inside the company. According to the Justice Department's statement of facts, by spring 2012, certain GM personnel understood that the switch could prevent airbags from deploying. GM did not disclose that safety defect to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration until February 2014. The resulting recall covered more than 2.1 million vehicles in the United States. During part of that period, GM dealers were still selling certified pre-owned vehicles later covered by the recall, while consumers received assurances that their components met safety standards. In September 2015, federal prosecutors filed a 2-count felony information alleging concealment of material facts from a regulator and wire fraud. GM entered a deferred prosecution agreement, acknowledged the accuracy of a detailed statement of facts, accepted a monitor, and forfeited $900 million. That was not a guilty plea or criminal conviction. Prosecution was deferred for 3 years. After the government said GM had complied with the agreement, a federal judge dismissed the charges with prejudice on September 19, 2018. The lesson is larger than one ignition switch. A small defect becomes a systemic danger when complaints, engineering data, lawsuits, and recall decisions remain separated. For drivers, the practical warning is simple. Treat recall notices as safety information. Check a vehicle's identification number for open recalls, and never assume a famous brand makes internal failures impossible.